and Spanish. Fabiola?
Buenas tardes, bienvenidos al programa de padres y estudiantes del idioma inglés. Yo voy a ser la traductora el día de hoy y cuando ustedes escuchen que el director está hablando, yo lo voy a traducir a él en el idioma español.
Okay, before anything else, we want to introduce ourselves. I'm Nick Lodato, the principal of Emerson School.
Antes que nada, queremos introducir al personal, el señor Nicolás Lodato, el director de la escuela.
Ms. Ramos, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Mrs. Ramos. I am the IEIS at our school, but like an assistant principal.
La señora Ramos es la subdirectora de la escuela Emerson.
And I am Ms. Helena Celos. The T is kind of silent. It's Greek and hard to pronounce. I have to spell it all the time. And I am the English language interventionist. So I'll be working with all the kids as English. Go ahead. Sorry, Fabiola.
Sorry. La señora Elena Celos es la intervencionista del programa de español. Y ella va a estar trabajando con todos los estudiantes que hablan el idioma español o están aprendiendo el idioma inglés.
And we have, for this, as it relates to this presentation, we are recording this tonight, so I want to make sure that you're aware of that up front. But the purpose we're recording it is so that we can save it and share it with any families who couldn't make it tonight. That's one thing, is the video recording. Secondarily, this PowerPoint presentation is available on our Google site in both English and in Spanish.
Vamos a grabar esta junta para tenerla disponible en el sitio Google y va a estar disponible en inglés y en español.
So I'm going to lead us through our next part. And this slide just tells us what we will be talking about for the meeting today. So we are going to give you some information about how our program works here at Emerson, by which we support our English language learners. You'll learn about your rights and responsibilities as a parent. You'll meet Ms. Celos and learn the expectations of her class.
Buenas tardes. A continuación vamos a hablar de el programa de aprendizaje del inglés. En la escuela Emerson, conozca sus derechos y responsabilidades, para presentar a la señora Celos y para que conozcan las expectativas de la clase de la señora Celos.
So you might be wondering, how does your child get into this program to begin with? This little diagram shows how your child gets in and then what happens once they're in.
Usted se estará preguntando cómo es que el estudiante calificó para este programa. Estas gráficas demuestran paso a paso cómo es que el estudiante califica para este programa y cómo sale de este programa.
So it first starts when you register your child. You are required to fill out what we call FLOAT survey. That stands for Primary or Home Language Other Than English survey. And you answer 3 questions about language. And if any of those answers is a language other than English, then that's the entry into the EL program.
Comienza con la forma que le pregunta qué idioma habla el estudiante. Si el idioma es otro que el idioma inglés, entonces el estudiante califica para el programa de aprendizaje del idioma inglés.
So if a child has a language other than English on their survey, we are required to test them within 30 days. Now that won't happen because we're in distance learning right now, but when we go back to campuses, any child who's new to Emerson will have to take a placement test.
En situaciones normales, el estudiante no tienen que hacer un examen en los siguientes 30 días de inscripción, pero como ahorita estamos con el distanciamiento social, no se puede. Entonces, una vez que los estudiantes regresen a la escuela, se les va a hacer un examen a los estudiantes.
If that student passes as proficient in English on the test, they're not in the program. If they don't pass as proficient on the test, then they will begin their time in our English language learner program, which includes teachers teaching them lessons that are meant to help them with their English skills. And then every spring, we have to reassess them on the AZELA test, which is the Arizona English Language Learning Assessment.
Si el estudiante pasa el examen con proficiente, entonces el estudiante sale del programa ACELA o el programa donde los estudiantes están aprendiendo el idioma inglés. Pero si no pasa el examen con proficiente, entonces él empieza a participar en el programa CELA y se le hace un examen cada año en primavera hasta que el estudiante alcanza un grado proficiente.
If your child passes the AZELA test in the spring, then they are out of the program for the rest of their educational career. If they do not pass the AZELA test with proficient, then they go back the next year and they'll be getting services from the school again. And they go through that process for the rest of their educational career until they pass out all the way even through high school. So this is a state program and it's something that we're required to do for students who are still learning English.
Si el estudiante pasa con proficiente, entonces el estudiante puede salir del programa ACELA. Si no, cada año en primavera se le va a hacer el examen de nuevo hasta que el estudiante logre pasar el examen con proficiente. Si el estudiante no logra, pues esto puede durar hasta sus años de secundaria, que continúe en el programa de aprendizaje de inglés.
So here's what we're required to do for your child because they are an English language learner. We are required to provide them with services every single day. And we'll talk about those services on the next slide. We are required to test your child every single year on the AZELA test. We have to report your child's progress, their score on the AZELA test to you, which will come to you soon because I just got the scores in paper form for you. And we have to let you know what services your child receives every year.
So esto es lo que el programa para estudiantes de inglés requiere. La escuela está obligada a brindar servicio a su hijo a diario, evaluar a su hijo todos los años en la evaluación de aprendices del idioma inglés de Arizona o ACELA, proporcionar un informe de la puntuación de su hijo en ACELA, proporcionar un aviso de los servicios que recibe su hijo.
So there are two components to how we service your children daily. The first is through their classroom teacher. So there are 60 minutes of a lesson that's done where their English services are integrated into what that teacher is teaching. So they might be teaching a math lesson or a science lesson, but they teach in a way so that students can build their English skills.
Existen dos componentes para que los estudiantes aprendan el idioma inglés. Hay 60 minutos de lección integrada por el maestro del salón diariamente. Los estándares del idioma inglés pueden ser en matemáticas, ciencias sociales o estudios sociales.
The other part of how we service your child is through targeted lessons with our English language interventionist, Ms. Celos, daily. And so that's very focused on English language standards given to us by the state. And your child is pulled from their class in order to get those targeted minutes. So between those two ways that we service your children, we're servicing them for at least 2 hours every single day because that is required of us by the state.
Los estudiantes tienen una lección de 50 a 60 minutos por parte de la señora Celos en inglés todos los días. La maestra Celos se encarga de agarrar al estudiante de la clase y llevarlo a otro salón donde se les enseña el inglés a cada estudiante y tienen que completar una lección que viene siendo 2 horas diarias de enseñanza en inglés.
So here are your responsibilities and your rights as a parent. As a parent of an English learner, you have the right to be informed of your child's progress every single year on the Azella. And like I said, we just got those reports in and they should be coming to you soon, either via email or via snail mail. And also, you have the right to meet with the teacher or the school staff, so that would be me, if the services for your child are not being met. So if you're concerned about what we're doing for your child for their English development, you can always talk to Ms. Celos or their classroom teacher or myself about it.
Sus derechos y responsabilidades son los siguientes. Los padres tienen derecho a estar informados del programa Azella y de los servicios que la escuela brinda y lo van a recibir por medio de correo electrónico o por medio de correo de la ciudad de Phoenix. Usted tiene el derecho de reunirse con el maestro o con la señora Celos o con la señora Dana Ramos para que le expliquen si tiene alguna pregunta o si tiene alguna inquietud acerca de los servicios que está recibiendo su hijo.
You also have some responsibilities. One is to fill out all of the paperwork that we give to you and return it to the school or to the teachers. I actually sent out a notice that lets you know what services your child is receiving. I did it through your child's Google Classroom. We'll talk about that on the next slide in case you haven't seen it yet. But that's the first form that we've sent this year that has to be signed. And we send that form every single year.
Así como los padres tienen derechos, tienen también responsabilidades. Y una de las responsabilidades es completar el papeleo y devolverlo a la escuela lo más pronto posible. La señora Ramos acaba de mandar una forma y va a hablar de eso más adelante para ver si es que lo recibió o no lo recibió. Tiene que asegurarse que el estudiante completa el trabajo y atiende las lecciones en vivo con la señora Celos y registrarse en la clase dojo de la señora Celos para recibir mensajes de ella.
You also need to ensure that your child is getting to Ms. Celos' live lessons every single day for most students. For K through 6th grade, there are 2 lessons that they have with Ms. Celos every day. For 7th and 8th grade, there's only 1 lesson that they have for a longer amount of time. So if you can help your child make sure that they get to Ms. Celos' lessons, that will make sure that they're getting all of the services that they are required to have. And make sure that you sign up for Ms. Celos' class dojo so that you can receive messages from her and so that you can send a message directly to her if you have concerns or questions about your child's English language services.
Perdón, me adelanté un poco a lo que la señora Ramos estaba diciendo. Lo que ella acaba de decir es que tiene que asegurarse que los estudiantes completen el trabajo y atiendan a las lecciones con la señora Celos y tienen que registrarse para recibir los mensajes que ella manda con los estudiantes.
So here is where you can find that letter I referenced, a letter that you have to sign. Some parents have already done it, and thank you so much for getting it done. If you have not done it or you don't remember seeing it, this is an assignment in your child's Google Classroom, and this is what the assignment looks like. And there's a letter attached to the assignment that you need to sign electronically. So it'll show you exactly where you need to sign. And once it's signed, I get an alert that tells me that you've signed it. And so if you haven't yet done that, if you could get it done as soon as possible, that would be great.
Este es un ejemplo de la notificación, la carta que les acabo de mandar a través del programa Google Classroom. Necesita regresarla electrónicamente lo más pronto posible. Necesitamos juntar todas las cartas como la siguiente lo más pronto posible.
And to clarify, that is in their homeroom teacher's Google Classroom.
Para clarificar, se encuentra en el Google Classroom con la maestra de su estudiante. La primera maestra.
Sorry, Fabiola. And if you would like a paper copy, we can arrange to have you signed a paper copy in the office. If you feel like the computer signing is too difficult for you, we can make sure to leave a copy for you in the front office, and Miss Fabiola can make sure that it's there if you show up to school so that you can sign it there as well.
Si usted siente que es muy difícil para usted poderla accesar en línea, le podemos dejar una copia en la oficina y puede hablar conmigo, con Fabiola, en la oficina acerca de la forma para que la firme, por favor. Es muy importante.
And we can also show in the question and answer portion of tonight, after the presentation, we can certainly show you exactly where to go in the Google Classroom. So if you were to tell us the name of your child, we would go to that classroom and show you exactly where it is. But sometimes it's helpful to see.
También podemos enseñarle en el chat dónde puede encontrar la forma. Es muy importante para que la pueda accesar. Si tiene alguna pregunta, para que pueda sepa cómo irse a buscar la forma en Google Classroom.
And not in the chat, Fabiola, but rather we can actually model on the screen and show them the steps for how to get exactly to this place.
Ok, perdón. El director lo va a modelar en la pantalla y va a dar paso a paso las instrucciones de cómo accesar la forma.
People can hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I've been having technical difficulties. So I am Miss Sellos. Some of you already know me. For those of you parents I haven't met, very nice to meet you.
Buenas tardes, la señora Celos. Soy la señora Celos. Para los padres que no me conocen, me da mucho gusto conocerlos. Estoy aquí para hablar con ustedes. Go ahead, Ms. Ellis.
And for the kids who've been coming like every day, thank you guys so much, because that's my main expectation. I just want to see you, like your faces or hear your voices. So this slide is all about me. I love teaching. So the first 3 slides are kids that I've worked with. These were some of my middle school kids a little while ago. One of them might actually be here to talk to you later tonight.
Estas son fotos mías. Les agradezco a todos los estudiantes que se han presentado por su participación. En la primera foto pueden ver unos estudiantes de mi clase. En la segunda foto estoy con otros estudiantes de educación secundaria y todas estas fotos son acerca de mí.
So my goal is that all of your kids, even though they're in, elementary or middle school, will graduate from high school and then pursue whatever dreams they want, no matter what that is, if it's college, if it's computers, mechanics, whatever. So those are them.
Mi meta es que todos los estudiantes puedan llegar a la escuela secundaria y puedan alcanzar sus objetivos, ya sea conseguir una carrera en el colegio, si quieren seguir otro tipo de carrera, que cumplan sus sueños. Esa es mi meta.
I love pets. The kids who have been coming to class have met my dog. Talia and Little Dog. And I've talked to Cielo a lot about cats. So I love pets.
Amo a las mascotas. Los estudiantes que han venido a mi clase conocen a mi perro, Talia. I think that's the name.
And Little Dog.
Sí, se llama Talia. Y saben, he compartido mi amor por los animales con mis estudiantes.
And then my family, so my brother, my stepmom, and my dad.
Mi familia, mi hermano, mi madrastra y mi papá.
And then my brother otra vez, and my mom.
Mi hermano y mi mamá.
So I like to have adventure. So with one of my friends, traveling, music.
Me gusta tener aventuras. Aquí estoy en esta foto con una de mis amigas y me gusta la música.
And then just movies and fun. So Star Wars, for those of you that know Star Wars. I like Star Wars a lot.
Y me gusta también asistir a las películas. Me gusta mucho Star Wars.
So, anyway. My expectations. So the big three are come to class, preferably on time, especially when it's only 30 minutes, the first half. Participate to the best of your ability. And if for whatever reason you can't attend, because sometimes things happen, you get sick, there's technical difficulties, etc., just let me know and look in Google Classroom to do your work.
Mis 3 expectativas más importantes son asiste a clase y tienes que estar a tiempo. Participa a tu mejor habilidad posible. Si no puedes asistir a clase, avísame por favor para yo ayudarte con una asignación en el programa de Google.
And you can call me with my phone number there. You can text me there. You can send me messages on Class Dojo. The kids can send me messages if they have access to Dojo or on Google Chat as well, or email.
Padres de familia, háblenme, mándenme mensajes a este número o al Class Dojo. Los estudiantes también me pueden mandar mensajes en Google Chat.
And I have my phone with me like just about all the time, and I have the Class Dojo app on my phone. So if somebody sends me a message, unless I don't hear it or something, I will get back to you as soon as I see it. So please communicate with me whenever you want to, whenever you feel like you have a concern or you just want to say hi or let me know something.
Yo traigo conmigo mi celular siempre. Si en caso que no los escucho, por favor, déjenme un mensaje. Por favor, me gusta que me dejen mensajes. Si tiene alguna pregunta, alguna inquietud, yo me comunicaré con usted lo más pronto posible.
So we talked about this a little bit briefly. Their pull-out minute, which means that the kids leave wherever they are, their class, and come to me.
Hay unos minutos que los estudiantes dejan la clase donde ellos están y vienen conmigo.
So kindergarten through 6th grade, they see me 2 times a day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday for 30-minute periods.
Los estudiantes de kinder a 6º grado me ven 2 veces por semana por 30 minutos. Lunes, martes.
Martes hasta viernes. Tuesday through Friday, 2 veces al día.
So es del martes al viernes 2 veces al día.
30 minutes each one.
30
And then
minutos
seventh,
cada clase.
and then 7th and 8th graders see me one time a day, Tuesday through Friday, but for 50 minutes.
Los estudiantes del 7 y 8 grado me ven de martes a viernes por 50 minutos cada día.
And they do that by going to their Google Classroom. And every Google Classroom has a link, and that's where the live lesson, that's where they come and find me, Tuesday through Friday.
Ellos se comunican conmigo a través de Google Classroom y cada Google Classroom o cada clase de Google tiene un enlace donde ellos se comunican en vivo conmigo todos los días.
And on Mondays, but not this Monday because there's no school on Monday, there will be lessons for them to watch in Google Classroom. So they'll go to their Google Classroom and there'll be an announcement and a video and some projects or classwork.
Todos los lunes, excepto por este lunes que no va a haber clases, los estudiantes pueden ver una clase o un anuncio de parte mía donde ellos pueden siempre comunicarse conmigo en ese enlace en Google Classroom o en el salón de clases de Google.
Okay. So I can't tell, did anybody else come yet? Oh, okay. Itate, are you there? Itate or Eleazar?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry. I'm having problems with the audio. Can you hear me?
Oh, no worries. That seems to be a trend today.
Yeah.
So I have a couple of former EL students who are trying to connect, and they are going to talk about the challenges they face in middle school, all about their experience in high school with language, how has it helped them, and advice that they can give you. So I will let Itate take it from here.
Tengo unos estudiantes que invité el día de hoy para que ellos puedan hablar con ustedes de las dificultades que han encontrado durante los años para lograr sus objetivos hasta llegar a nivel secundaria. Y voy a dejar que Itati les hable para darle su testimonio.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we
Yes.
can.
Okay, good. I don't know, do you want me to do this in English or Spanish?
Nick?
I think,
A mix?
yeah, I think that actually would be good if you don't mind presenting a little bit in both, just so people, like any students could hear, but also parents can hear you presenting and how you've developed language.
Okay, great. Yeah, that works. So my name is Itati. Like Marcelo said, I was in middle school. I started with them on 7th grade. And it was my first year in the United States in an English public school. Mi nombre es Itati. Como Marcelo dijo, yo estuve en su clase cuando llegué aquí. Entré a la escuela en el grado 7. Y I took over they put me on the English classes for Spanish speakers. And I was there when I was in school. It was the initial part of 4 hours, I guess, the 4 first classes of just plain English and then normal social studies and math. And I was in those classes until I was able to pass a test that allowed me to be in a regular English classes with the regular English speakers, meaning I had developed enough understanding of the English language to be part of, the normal, a normal class. So, cuando yo estuve en la escuela en el 7 grado, a mí me pusieron en esas clases de 4 horas que duraban cuando yo estaba en la escuela de inglés. Y esas clases eran para la gente que necesitaba tomar un examen para evaluar el nivel de inglés que entendían para poderlos menear al schedule, al horario regular con los demás estudiantes. And the thing that I found the hardest when I first started was that because everybody knew I was a mainly Spanish speaking person, I had trouble having my actual bilingual friends speak to me in English so I can learn more. So they mainly will speak to me in Spanish and then translate for me sometimes, but it wasn't going back and forth of teaching. It was just helping me out to say what the teacher said, and that was it. El problema que yo tuve cuando yo estaba en ese momento de las clases en el 7 grado tomando las 4 horas de inglés fue que mis amigos que hablaban español, en vez de que me ayudaran y enseñaran palabras, lo único que hacían eran traducir lo que me decían, pero no me ayudaban a entender más o explicarme más. Y eso fue lo que yo tuve de dificultad cuando empecé primero con esto. Then when I moved on to high school, I picked up the language pretty quick. So I only was in the first year with the regular 4 hours. And then the next year I got reduced to 2. And then for what will be 9th grade, I actually got removed from the classes, meaning I passed. And I was at a high level English enough to where I did not need any extra help. Lo que pasó fue que cuando tomé el examen, nomás estuve el primer grado con 4 horas, que fue el 7º grado. En 8º me reducieron a 2 horas porque ya había pasado cierto nivel de entender el inglés. Y para el 9º grado ya me habían pasado completamente a las clases regulares de inglés porque ya había pasado el examen porque las clases fueron exitosas en ayudarme a comprender el inglés. So when I reached high school, since I had already been a whole year before that in regular English classes, it actually helped me choose more advanced classes that that the English part and me being a Spanish speaker didn't, get in the way. I was proficient enough to be able to take advanced classes or join other clubs, even then, excuse me. I actually picked up a third language since I already had the grasp from the English. I ended up taking German as well, which knowing Spanish and English, German's a pretty mixed language. Cuando yo empecé la high school, como ya había pasado el nivel de inglés, anteriormente ya tenía un año completo donde no tenía las clases de español e inglés. Cuando llegué a la high school me ayudó mucho porque ya no tenía que estar dependiendo de una clase que me enseñara de español e inglés y pude tomar clases más avanzadas donde no necesitaba ayuda de la clase de inglés y me ayudó a avanzar a tomar otras clases. Incluso agarré una clase de un tercer idioma que era alemán. Y creo que tomando las clases en la middle school me ayudó mucho para poder avanzar cuando estaba en la high school. And then the thing that's helped me now as an adult is actually, it's helped me through college, it's helped me through work. I'm proficient enough to be able to advance and feel more confident. And the English language actually has become one of my primary language, especially because my husband's Caucasian, so he only speaks English. And in work, obviously, I work translating for my company, but it's not the main language, it's English. So, I mean, learning English and through those classes, it was definitely a great help now in my life. Ahora lo que me ayudó esto mucho ahora como una persona joven y fuera de lo que es la escuela, esas clases en realidad me ayudaron bastante para poder tener un inglés más profesional, no solo de la escuela, pero en el ambiente del trabajo, de cosas comunes afuera de la escuela. Entonces, yo soy muy agradecida que me dieron la oportunidad de tomar esas clases cuando estaba más pequeñas, que me han ayudado a mejorar mi hablado en inglés. And then the last thing, one advice I will give kids is read. Something that I noticed was that reading, it helped me a lot. Mainly, I will pick big, long books. And what I used to do is I will pick some time and I will read out loud because it will help my speech. But also, I think this is my personal opinion that talking out loud or reading something out loud not only does it help you develop the speech, but also helps you remember words. And what I will do reading books in English was that I will always have a dictionary next to me or a phone on my computer. So if there was words I couldn't understand, I will look them up immediately so I can understand what I was reading. And then sometimes I will even write them down so I could remember them or go over them later on and practice them. And then the other thing is I learned to socialize with people that, even though they were bilingual as well, they will speak more English than Spanish. And Spanish was only necessary when we had non-English speaking people around. So that helped me also develop my English a lot more. Doing those things, reading, writing it down, having a dictionary, speaking out loud, it helped me develop my English. La cosa el consejo que yo les daría es de que lean mucho, que lean libros que tengan muchas palabras o que no tengan tantos dibujos, que sean más texto en general y que cuando estén leyendo lo lean en voz alta porque les ayuda a pronunciar las palabras mucho mejor. Y también si no tienen, sería sugerencia tener o un diccionario o el teléfono en la computadora cerca para que cuando estén leyendo, si hay palabras que no entienden, las busquen inmediatamente para que entiendan el significado de lo que están leyendo. También si las escriben a veces es muy común que se sabe que si escribes una palabra te la memorizas más fácil. Entonces yo diría que lean mucho, lean en voz alta, también pueden leer enfrente de un espejo o algo así para que vean el movimiento de la boca y vean cómo pronuncian la palabra. La otra cosa fue que también me relacioné mucho con gente que eran bilingües, pero más que nada hablaban inglés y que el español era necesario solo cuando se sentaba con personas que no hablaban inglés. Y eso me ayudó mucho para ser más frecuente en la forma que hablaba en inglés. So yeah, I think that's a little bit going over the questions right there. I hope that helped.
Thank you, Itati. This is Nick. I'm the principal at Emerson School. And on our behalf, I know Ms. Silas appreciates it and she'll share with you too, but I just wanted to say thank you. And also if we'd like to make you an honorary Eagle. So I'll talk with her to get information later and we'll send you an Emerson Eagles t-shirt and make you one of us.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. And if you could stay around just for even a few minutes, we're actually we're scheduled to be done at 6:30, but if you don't mind hanging out just for a few minutes in case parents have questions of you, that would be much appreciated.
Sure, yeah.
Great, thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Helena.
So when Itate was my student, Mesa Junior also were Eagles, but their colors were different. Did you hear me? All right.
I did. That's
Yes.
great. That's great. It's a legacy now. All right. And did you have a second guest, Ms. Settles?
I was supposed to, but I do not know. He may be having technical difficulties. So at the moment, let's say no. And
Okay.
you would be able to see if he was in or not, I think. So you haven't had anybody else come in, yeah?
No, we're all here.
Okay.
So that's okay. That's okay. I think this was very well done, and it was a pleasure to hear you, Itate. But I think it was of value to our parents. But as an educator and as someone who also didn't start learning a second language until I was 14, it really, I think, helped paint a picture to show how possible it is. It feels impossible when you first start, but you've given us a vision for what we can pursue also. So thank you.
No, thank you for inviting me. I'm glad I was able to give a little insight of what it is. And I will always encourage those English classes because they definitely help a lot to get the basic foundation of the language. And especially if kids get a person that is willing to work with them, I think it will be really successful. I mean, it was for me.
Thank you. In this last part of our presentation, we would like to do some questions and answers. And so let me stop screen sharing for a moment here. I think we are few enough that if you'd like to ask a question, you could just take yourself off mute and you can ask your question in English or Spanish, and we'll share it with the group so they can hear it in English and Spanish, just for the sake of discussion and sharing information. So Fabiola, do you mind sharing just what the procedure will be for question and answer since we're so few?
Yes. El señor Lodato nos acaba de decir que es hora de hacer preguntas. Si usted quiere hacer una pregunta, por favor, quite su micrófono de silencio para poderla escuchar y vamos a compartir aquí con todos las preguntas para poder entre todos responder a las preguntas que usted tenga.
And I believe you can take yourself off mute, but I can also ask you to unmute. And when you have that symbol, press the button and you'll be able to speak.
Yo pienso que ustedes tienen el acceso a quitar su micrófono de silencio, pero yo voy a quitar también por parte mía el micrófono de silencio cuando quieran hablar.
Hi, I'm Selena Viera. I have two students actually. I have Angeline and I have Alexis, and they're Spanish fully. They speak Spanish barely, and I do speak English, and Dad doesn't. But I have a question for the gentleman that she was talking about the EL classes she took with you. I remember I even took them for my personal. I remember I even took them. How were you able to keep speaking Spanish without forgetting your how did you handle speaking English? I mean, without forgetting your Spanish? Because I have a couple of friends that their children, they're 100%, they do not, they're both parents, mom and dad do not speak no English, and kids only speak English to mom and dad, and they do not speak Spanish back. And when they speak Spanish, is like very cut off. They don't speak fluency in Spanish at all. And I really don't want that to happen with my kids.
Okay, la pregunta es de que ella quiere saber cómo es que I'm sorry, Itati or
¿Cómo
Itati.
se diría así? ¿Cómo se podría, en pocas palabras, yo tengo conocidos que tienen sus hijos que hablan, por ejemplo, mamá y papá no hablan absolutamente nada en inglés y sus hijos hablan bien perfectamente el inglés, pero ya cuando se trata de hablar español, no pueden. Hablan bien cortado, no hablan completamente el español ya. ¿Cómo le hizo la muchacha que estaba hablando para no equivocarse ni en inglés ni en español? Porque yo en lo personal, lo que siempre hice es que con mi mamá siempre hablé en español y yo no sé cómo explicarles a las familias que me preguntan que cómo le hago en esa forma a ellos. Y ella cómo le hizo para no olvidarse su main language y meter el inglés.
So what I did was my house with my mom and dad and my siblings it was not that it wasn't forced, that's just how it ended up being, and it worked. When it comes to mom and dad, since they're not English speaking people, till this day they speak very little English. What we did is outside the house with people that we didn't know or people that we knew, outside the house was English all the time, and between us, my siblings, it was always English. But when we had to be as a family, it was mainly Spanish, and that was mainly because my parents wouldn't fully understand. So that's how we just kept that conversation going. And then outside also, since we go to a bilingual and then a main only Spanish speaking church, that also helped us, keep the keeping the Spanish. But I will be 100% honest. since I got more comfortable with English, and even now I still mess up a little bit on both languages, which to me is okay because it's two different, worlds. Um, making sure that you have like a space, like if you want to do home church or a group in school where they always keep the Spanish going, is the same like the English. You just want to keep the practice going in a way where you don't just completely stop using one language to use the other. um, and also, in order for my parents to teach them a little bit of English, we will do a little bit of Spanglish with them. So it's the same thing as English. We kept books around, TV shows, movies, our parents, and then same like we were, only Spanish speaking people. We will try to keep those conversations with people that didn't know English. Just it's a constant practice of both languages.
And then I would also say reading in both languages
Yeah.
is like fantastic because your vocabulary in both languages is going to grow. And there are all kinds of books that you can get access to that are in both English and Spanish. And a lot of the strategies that you use to read when you're younger apply to both languages. At least in Spanish and stuff like French, because the alphabet is the same and the letters go the same way. English and Spanish have some words that are similar, that are cognates. So books in both languages are a really excellent way. And then that way, when they get older, not only will they be bilingual, where they speak both languages, they'll truly be biliterate, where they can read and write and speak, right? And that's helped Itate tremendously because you work for the airlines, right, Itate?
Yeah, I work for the airlines.
So, it's not just speaking, it's reading and writing and the whole package. So the more you do that in both languages, their vocabulary will grow and they won't forget it.
Okay,
I'm sorry,
thank you. That
Tati.
was my main question because I was lost because I seen friends. I'm gonna be honest. We were living back in Yuma and over there. Basically, even though you can't believe it, there's lots of Spanish-speaking teachers. I don't know if it's supposed to or not, but my kids are always been like I told you. I speak English and they understand me, but they don't want to talk to about like my little one. She'll straight up tell me, I don't want to speak English. I want to speak Spanish. She answers me everything that I ask her in English, but she will not answer me in her own words in English until now. When she started preschool, she started going a little bit, but then there's random days that she wakes up that I don't want to speak. I don't want to. She's in Ms. Val's class. She goes in there and she's like, I don't want to go in there because they're speaking English and I don't feel like talking today.
You know
So I
what?
understand what happens.
Yeah, no, my brother was born here. So me and my sister were the ones that were brought from Mexico. And what he did was the same thing. He actually, I'm very surprised because he has never taken a Spanish class to learn how to read and write, but he can actually read and write. Now, I'm not going to say the grammar is 100%, but you understand everything. He doesn't know the commas and stuff like that, but he can write what he sounds. So, since there's the other way around is with English, what we learned with him is that from 1 to 5 years of age, all he knew was Spanish. Now he will know a little bit of English because my sister and I will speak to him in English so he can, start grasping some of the language for when he started school. And that actually did help them because as soon as he started school, that's when you need to wait for them to get comfortable with some of their friends. And that's when they're going to pick up the language. Because that's what happened with my brother. So from my sister and I talking to him some English, but also, that constant Spanish communication with my parents and everybody as a family, it helped them develop or grow up with both of the languages at the same time. But once school starts, they're going to pick up that English, like nothing. Like there was no problem.
Okay, that sounds good. Then I guess I'll just keep here home the Spanish. Well, right now they're not. I do speak English to them, but I'm gonna probably then keep the Spanish home, and then at school they can do their English. Because yeah, I don't want them afraid because I have parents, friends that come over and their kids are trying to explain something in Spanish and I understand them and they feel like playing like out. They don't know what they're saying. And then I'm like, oh, he wants this. And it's kind of, well, basically one of her, she did tell me, she's like, I feel embarrassed sometimes we go out, he does not know how to explain to me and he's my son, nothing in Spanish, what he needs or he wants. And I'm like, I don't want my kids to grow up like that. So I was like, I need them to get both of the language. And I can tell you, I do get angry sometimes that I do see that they don't want to, they're opposite. They don't want to learn the English, but they like the Spanish. So I'm like, come on, you guys need to learn it too.
Right.
So
You
thank you
can
very much
also,
for answering.
yeah, you're welcome. I would suggest also if you want to play like games with them where you tell them this day we're gonna do just straight out Spanish and this day we're just gonna do straight up English. And maybe doing that's gonna get them comfortable, you know, to be a little bit more open about speaking both languages.
If I can offer as well, well, I think in addition to that, I would say listening to songs. So if your kids are really into Kids Bop or whatever music they tend to like, if you then go and look up the lyrics on Google, which you can find for free, then they can start to see the words and read the words along with songs they already like, and that can be a powerful way to help develop and reinforce language too, because they're already connected to the music itself. And then secondarily, it's kind of a, you know, it's a philosophical thing perhaps, but to start to refer to your kids as future bilinguals instead of referring to them as English learners or English language learners, letting them know like there's value in being bilingual, right? You have more opportunities, whether it's, you know, career opportunities or job opportunities or scholarships or anything, even if maybe it's just travel, but the more languages you know, the more doors it opens for you. And to call them future bilinguals, I think is a powerful sort of mind shift.
Spanish is actually my second language. And so obviously my job at Emerson is to teach English, but I lived abroad in order to learn Spanish. I taught Spanish as part of an immersion program previously. A couple of other jobs I've had, I was hired specifically because I was bilingual. And so it's just a great professional tool, but it's also a lot of fun. I mean, like you travel, you meet people. I actually wish I spoke more than 2 languages. So that also, you know, and if the kids have any questions about that, you know, I'm happy to talk to them about that too, because I want them to be both proud of their heritage and, you know, proficient in both languages.
Thank you for that question. Other questions? Otras preguntas que tienen?
This is not a question, but just a comment from my side. One thing that I've noticed is that telling kids that it's okay to mess up, it helps them be more brave in trying to speak both languages, because a lot of them are afraid that they're going to mispronounce things, and showing them or explaining to them that it's okay, it makes them, you know, have that bravery to want to try, you know, because it takes a lot to learn 2 languages and to speak them and understand them. So if they feel less afraid of messing up, I think it will be a lot easier for them to want to speak them both.
I didn't do a good job of translating the last piece. Itate, do you want to translate what you just said?
Oh, sí. Que es bueno explicarles a los niños que está bien si se equivocan, porque a veces es el miedo de que sienten que van a estar avergonzados en no pronunciar las cosas correctamente, y como los mayores tenemos que dejarles entender que está bien equivocarse, porque saber dos idiomas es algo que es súper, requiere mucho de la mente, entonces es algo que toma paciencia y que si se equivocan está bien porque están tratando de aprender otro idioma, entonces su mente está tratando de trabajar en dos idiomas y está bien si se equivocan, es esencialmente lo que está diciendo.
A little bit late, but Eleazar is also here. So Eleazar, if you want to say a couple things about your experience, if you're, there you are.
Here I am. How you guys doing?
Welcome.
All right. Well, thank you guys. So yeah, I just got in. So just catch me up where things are.
Go ahead.
Itate finished explaining, you know, how it helped her in high school, how it helped her in her professional life, advice for kids, and what it was like learning English as a second language in middle school when you were a kid.
Yeah, well, it was really a nice experience having you as a teacher and Mrs. Siders. So it's a really nice thing, yeah, to learn. You know, it's a powerful weapon to know another language. And in my case, well, you know, I was a Spanish-born kid, and I got English as a second language, and it has helped me a lot during my times, obviously, a lot. So it's a nice tool to have in your life.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Eleazar, what advice, if any, would you give to students who are currently in elementary school? What advice would you give them in their experience?
Well, to get really into the context of the language, you know, to learn a lot of vocab, obviously, that's very important. And the context you use your language, it's the more you practice, the better you're gonna get it. And well, that's my advice. I learned through music mostly. You know, yeah, hearing music and reading the lyrics along the side, that helped me a lot. So that'll be my advice. Maybe some kid music and download the lyrics and read them.
Eleazar, ¿puedes traducir lo que dijiste ahorita en español?
Ok, sí, miren, pues prácticamente sí, es entender el contexto de la lengua, más que nada, porque muchas palabras se dicen antes o después y entre más rápido le agarre uno a los contextos del vocabulario, practicar el vocabulario, más rápido sabrán formar oraciones, pequeñas conversaciones poco a poco. Esa fue la manera que yo me familiaricé más rápido con el idioma. Aprendí a través de la música, leyendo las letras de las canciones en inglés que me gustaban en ese tiempo. Fue una herramienta muy buena. Sí, eso es.
And I use music a lot.
No sé si
Yo voy a usar música mucho en la clase también. Siempre cantaba. I always sang with my kids. Badly, but. So, ¿otras preguntas? Anybody? Any other questions?
¿Alguien que tenga más preguntas?
I have a question.
Sí.
Okay.
Sí. And also reading.
What? Oh. What?
Hi, yeah. My question was that if we missed part of the meeting, is there any way or a link of a recording of this meeting, or it was not recorded?
Yes,
It
we
was
recorded it. It usually takes a little bit, so I'll download it tonight and I'll post it on our Google site tomorrow.
Esta meeting lo estamos grabando para si no alcanzó a ver el meeting completo, lo voy a postear esta noche en el sitio de Google para que lo puedan ver.
And the presentation is available in English and Spanish, and that's already posted on the site if you'd like to go back and reread anything.
La presentación está en el sitio de Google en español y en inglés para si quieres ir a leer la información.
Okay, are there any other questions for us this evening? We are at the top of the hour.
¿Alguien más tiene alguna otra pregunta? Ya estamos con el tiempo encima.
Okay, if you would like to go to the chat, Ms. Ramos did just post the link in there now. So if you were to go there right now, you'd be able to see where the PowerPoint is posted and also where I will be putting the recording to this meeting tonight.
Si usted quiere ir al chat, por favor, la señora Ramos ha escrito el enlace donde está el programa de PowerPoint y es donde va a estar esta noche el meeting, la grabación de la junta que acabamos de tener.
And can I also remind parents to, if you have not filled out that parent notification form that has to be signed by you, it's in your child's Google Classroom for their homeroom teacher, and it's for you to sign. And if you sign it electronically, I will know that you signed it, but we do have to get all parents to sign that notification letter.
Tenemos un mensaje de parte de la señora Ramos, muy importante, por favor, verifique Google Classroom, ahí les envió la señora Ramos el papel de que tiene que mandar de vuelta. Ella se va a enterar si usted lo recibió y lo respondió electrónicamente.
Okay, thank you so much to all of you who came this evening. I hope that you enjoyed talking about language. I think this is actually kind of a nice experience to do and to hear people discussing and describing their experiences with language. It was really a pleasure to hear from you, Eleazar and Itate. So thank you so much for participating, and thank you all of you for being here. I'm looking forward to other opportunities that we can repeat like this throughout the school year.
Muchas gracias a todos por participar, especialmente a Itati y a Eleazar por su testimonio, y yo estoy muy contento con todos y me gustaría tener más oportunidades para compartir con ustedes y hablar más acerca del lenguaje inglés.
Okay, thank you and have a good night. I'll stop the recording, but we'll stay online, or I will anyway, if anybody would like to see how to find the link on Google Classroom.
Gracias a todos, buenas noches. Voy a continuar si alguien tiene alguna pregunta, cómo encontrar el enlace de Google. Voy a continuar aquí unos momentos más para si tienen alguna pregunta. Gracias.